All right, so next we will dive deep into brainwaves with Hegle Sarapuu-Johanson.
Hegle has worked in UX for more than 20 years and is the co-founder and head of innovation at Trinidad Wiseman. Today, she will introduce us to the exciting field of neuro-UX and tell us how we can make design decisions based on brainwaves.
And if you do have questions, just a reminder again that you could just submit them here in this ELISA stage and we'll address them on stage.
Here we go, Hegle.
Hi. So, it's okay. Thank you. Okay. So, well, obviously I have a slide about me already. That's, maybe what I want to say that, if you get to be innovation manager, you have this right to play around, which is so exciting. Which is also nice that my experience in UX has led me to the moment that I have to combine this technology with users, the research, the methods, and you can play around with people and technology, which is even more nice, right? So, yeah. I have one question before I start. Have you ever had an automation error? So I mean, when you have moved, you go to your old place automatically and find yourself, oh, I don't live here anymore. Anything like you reorganize your cabins, you try to find something that was there, but not anymore. Have you ever had that? Raise your hand. Yeah, me too. Many times. The thing is, well, we react first as a human, and this is a completely human thing. And then we sometimes start to think, and sometimes we don't act, and then we think, but quite often we act first and we think. And this is because, we want to survive. I mean, there's no thinking when someone tries to, bite you as a snake. There's no chance that you can just be there thinking about, oh, should I run? There's no way. So that's why we have built this way. So we have really, really good pattern recognition. And, I have had many times in user interface clicking on a button and think, oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, I have to go back and click the other button. So really good user interfaces are when we don't have to think much. We can just react, and we can think about things that actually matter. I mean, content there. So good design is quite often that we can react and we do it correct way, and we don't harm ourselves, or we don't have to wait, and so on. So pattern recognition is really good because it makes us faster and more efficient. Nielsen says also that because of that, minimalistic is good. So we don't have much choices to make mistakes, right? But they also he also says that aesthetics is important. So yeah, it is. I mean, we are visual beings, most of us. So we want not have or like nice things. We're prone to click on nicer buttons, right? Or we like nicer user interfaces, or we buy nicer things. So this is also important for us. We get back to that. Well, humans, as we all are, we're super efficient in daily tasks, especially if we have done something many, many times because of this automation, this pattern recognition and acting really fast. So we are really highly automated that we can survive and actually put this really tiny part, which is like this short-term memory, into really good use, because we cannot load too many things there, right? So we are really automated so that we can survive. And of course, those patterns that we recognize, we start from day one and start to learn them. And many things affect those things, like culture, our experiences, definitely in all the different aspects, like beliefs, habits, culture, definitely bad experiences, also good ones. And something that we actually, something that we actually teach ourselves quite often. So, another thing that because of this automation, we're really, really prone to biases. I mean, those biases exist because we're prone to act a certain way in certain situations. And one of those biases, meaning that not all the time it's true, attractive things work better. Because we think that if it's an attractive and nice-looking thing, it should be good. So that means it's more usable, it's better, and so on. So we forgive many, many things to that. It doesn't necessarily mean that they actually work better. And of course, we all believe that, we know better because we are all those good designers. No, we don't. If someone shows us a website which is really nicely designed and asks, is it usable? Our first thing comes to mind, oh yeah, it's so nice, it has to be. And then you know, this one. Yeah? And if you don't act before you think, then you say, oh wait, let's try. So, that means every person's experience is different. Attractiveness to everyone is kind of different too, because of the culture, experiences, everything else. So that means beauty lies on the eye of the beholder. Everyone knows that there. And, well, we cannot forget our users. Of course, we don't assess only beauty and how aesthetic the view is, kind of. But nevertheless, if we want to keep people to make big mistakes, if we want people to go towards something, we want to make something which is more desirable, more beautiful. And if we want people to go away, then we should design something really nasty, right? So, if you go to user interface and you see something, if you saw this button on the middle of the screen, that means it has to be different enough from all the other parts of the design, because our eyes are working like this. On the other hand, we have this harmonious, nice picture. Nothing really goes out. So you have this, as a designer, you have this balancing act. Should it stand out or not so much? Is it standing out enough or not so much? Should we tune that down because it grabs all the attention? What should I do? I mean, when can we finish the design? So let's leave that for a while, and let's imagine that you are Jedi Master of Package Design. I mean, you have learned all there is about how to design packages. It's super efficient, anything user or this designer can be. And you were hired to a new place, and as you are Jedi Master of Package Design, obviously don't get easy projects. You will getting this nice thing. Redesign that, Jedi Master. Is there any chance that anywhere in the world really finds this desirable product in the world, in the shop, in the corner of the shop? So you think, oh yeah, I have this like amazing memory about whipping cream, which is in can. Anyone? I don't have. I have more like this my grandmother did it by hand, and everyone was like gathering around and tasted it. This is warm feeling. Maybe, I don't know, maybe newer people who had that in the childhood, you had like some kind of birthday party maybe, and everyone was like spraying it around, and it was very nice. I'm not sure. Anyway, eat this Jedi Master. Do new design. I mean, like, if you go there in this section, fortunately in Estonia we have only 1 or 2 products, but in some areas there are many, many more. I cannot say like they don't distinguish, or at least like those last 2 don't much, but anyway, what should they do? I mean, I just got to this new workplace, right? I'm not going to quit because of whipping cream, right? So, how do I do that? Obviously, I mean, like, taking out that this is not like good way of packaging, it's not sustainable really, but I still think about like, yeah, if I do this very bad design for this package, I mean, think about those warehouses that just keep them and nobody buys them, and eventually they're like just disregarded. Nobody even uses them. So I don't want to do that. Let's do good package. At least they try it out. Then we have this, not this, this thing that, yeah, emotions and nice looking things, trusted looking things, stuff like that. Well, it's better conversion. So in a shop, conversion is when someone takes it and go and buys it, actually. So we want to kind of assess something. So how do I do that? There's self-report. We all have that, like we're doing interviews and then having all the questionnaires. And then in this Nordic area, you say like, do you like to feel any emotion, anything? It's normal. That's okay. I'm not sure I follow what do you mean with emotion? So yeah, this is us. But the thing is like identifying how you feel about anything and being honest about this actually a skill. You have to learn that. You go specific trainings, sometimes you call visiting psychiatrist. Yeah, sorry. So you go through that and identifying how you feel and how you explain yourself. Sometimes smarter people teach their children to do that in early ages. I'm not sure I'm on this age gap that got that. Anyway. And then also, like, every time we answer to those questions, like, we have this, like, really nice filter before we speak, because I want to know that, okay, if you ask me this, you probably want to know this. If I answer this, how will you react? Okay, I should answer this, because this is more safer way. And then some people might like just say, oh yeah, it's so bad, because I just act this way. I am like this every day, but someone else who is like having this interview, oh, this is so bad. So communication error. And of course, there's always those little helpers during the interview who wants to just do good, so that you can be sure that this is the best product. So yeah, they think, oh yeah, I know the hypothesis they have. Oh yes, let's confirm that. They don't do it really like being bad people. They just want to be good people. They want to be socially acceptable people. I'm not saying self-report is all bad. I'm just saying that there's many, many things that can go wrong. And if you take those things literally, you can go really wrong. But, well, there are many ways. So, luckily, front area of our brain is working really hard to make decisions. So this area is really about purposeful thinking, reasoning, making good decisions, basically. And also emotions and some movements, stuff like that. So it's a really big area of the brain. And more luckily, there's electricity going around there, and you can measure it on the skull. So if you put it on before, you can assume really safely that, yeah, this part of the brain should be working right now. Or at least I'm measuring this. And I mean, you can use really not so high-tech technology to actually getting around, like, how is it going on? Is it like higher, better, worse? Because I mean, like, they use telegraph machine for first brainwave measuring. How cool is that, right? It was more than 100 years ago, and that was completely measurable for the very first time. So how difficult machine can be, right? Anyway, it's getting more complicated, but after alpha waves were discovered, and there came beta waves, and so on, all the other ones. So we have different frequency waves going on here. And they mean different things, and scientists have already had like a lot of time, over 100 years, to discover different statuses and brainwaves connections. So we have this amazing scientific research for that. Not just one, more. And there was also people who actually, out of the hobby, went to discover their own brainwaves. So in USA, it was really, really big thing around the 70s. So, the other good thing is, like, most of our reactions, kind of how we feel, is possible to define as positive or negative. And in case of snake, it's approach or avoid. So if I want to approach or I want to avoid. And then there's like very strong will to approach or avoid, or really weak one. Well, maybe I'm sleepy, I don't want to really move much, so, and so on. If we speak about design, then the thing is, like, we really, really, really want to have our design in this green round, right? Because, I mean, like, if you really design something which is bored, you don't want to do that, right? You don't design board stuff. To get boredom. So we want to have this nice thing. Okay, putting all together, obviously there are, many ways. Is it coming? No? Okay. No, yeah, it did. So we have picked out some of the connections so that we could really take something out of those like wavy things. As it was at the beginning for ourselves, it was like mostly handwork. You also had to go there and really calculate and understand it. Then we couldn't choose much, but we didn't really need it much. So we found out those connections from different research papers. So arousal, which is just like how strong the emotion is, if it goes up or down. Attention, which is wasn't on this screen, but if you have like high attention, that means person has to work really a lot. So basically, you don't want to have high attention when you have this common user interface. Not so much, unless you want them to really, really read and understand. And then this avoid and approach, this positive and negative thing. So you can combine those into this matrix and find out what is going on. But just having those brainwaves measured, how do you do design decisions based on that? I mean, design has like many items, like parts, elements, stuff like that. And if you, this Jedi Master, and you have this whipping cream can, how do you connect those waves with this whipping cream? Oh boy. So basically you have to make this person, you had this headband on, usually it is much bigger, but we use this really small ones because we only want to have this area. Then, well, you have to make this person to react to something, right? So you have to show something, make them listen something, feel something, and so on. If you design package, you probably want to show them. So you want them, if they go there, picking whipping cream, they take this package first and see if this word to buy out of the shelf. So you have to show something, so you add screen to the mix. And then you add eye tracker to the mix, so you actually can see what people are looking right now. And then you see, okay, so what the brainwaves show, is it avoid approach at the same time when they see this part of the design? So it can be avoid. Most of the times it's just like moving very fast. So you have to calculate because, I mean, like, brain is so fast and eyes are also so fast. So it's always continuously moving. So you have to like really make statistical calculations to really understand like which wins and which not. But when you see that this person looks this element all the time, quite a lot, and they tend to feel strong avoiding like this pattern there, then you might want to change this element of the design. So you just remove it, or replace it, or redesign it. So this is how you can make design decisions. In user interface, you can see that, okay, this question did make sense, gave a huge workload, or not. So does the person understands the thing, or do they like really have to think really hard on that? So we can make design decisions based on that. As you are this Jedi Master, and designing and redesigning this package, imagine if you don't have access on this. So you have to rely on just self-report, or even worse, stakeholder feedback. Come on, stakeholder feedback about user experiences, previous experiences, on elements. Oh, I wonder if this our brand red is, or it's not our brand red, what you're using. We maybe should use our brand red here. Yeah? Makes sense. You as a Jedi Master designer redesigning because someone said it's not correct red. It doesn't matter if it's like going out from shelves or other ways, or people feel actually something if they've grabbed bottle. As I said, I'm not a big fan of canned whipped cream, and then luckily they are already banned in some areas in the world, but still, I mean, as a Jedi Master, you cannot have easy challenges, right? So I think as a Jedi Master of design, you have a right for unbiased feedback during the design process. Not after it's shelved already. just during the process. You need to have it, and you don't want to rely on stakeholder feedback and anything else that is not even connected with the user. So if you add ethics to that, of course, you can eventually decide what you want to do. Do you want to design that, not to design that, and how far to go with that? Otherwise, you just have to do. Thank you. Do you have questions?
Thank you, Hegle. So, do we have any questions in the audience? We actually have the Neuro UX device with us here, don't we, today?
Oh, yeah, it was there in the lobby.
In the booth?
In the booth.
So people, can they go and try it out?
Absolutely.
Read their brainwaves?
Yeah, you can see.
Hello. Thank you for the presentation. It was really, really interesting to learn about the biases and brain waves. So my question will be about cognitive bias, like confirmation. I'm just wondering how you deal or how you handle this kind of this bias and how does it work eventually?
It depends which one, like researcher or user, but the user one, yeah? Okay. I'm staying
Don't
longer.
leave it here.
So, one thing is, like, of course, we encourage people to speak out loud. And the other is that, confirmation bias is something like, has its social pressure part on that. So people don't want to really, like, always, like, say out loud that they are disagreeing with themselves. So we have seen that people say something out loud and then feeling like completely opposite. They want to run. And not necessarily always because of the researcher who is there with them. So I don't know, if is it overcoming? Yeah, okay. Didn't take that long.
Any other questions?
There we have one.
Hello, thank you so much for your presentation. I do have a question. In academia, usually this kind of experiments are controlled and they are created in the lab. And we know that physiological data can be pretty noisy. How you manage with the industry?
It's noisy. Yeah, you have to clean the data, and you don't really want to go very far away. Lab setting it should be like really like creating less emotion than more. And if you are at home, then many things can happen. Even this person who is with you, or the person who reads the question, affects already the waves. So basically, if you don't like the question, they know that you're lying. Then they're really like wanting to avoid already. It doesn't matter what the design is, they just want to avoid you. So we have seen, like, if we say, like, imagine this, you are this and this person, or your friend said that it's good, we see like strong negative impact already. So they already like taking, okay, now you're lying to me. It doesn't matter what comes after that. It already affects the decision. So basically, there are many things you can do. You cannot only rely on one item. You have to have different methods to get the information. The other thing, you don't want to have many affectors around, like things like that affect this person much. You also, it's better if you are not there even. It's also better if it's a neutral environment. We have seen that the other this person who's coming in likes really the other person already. The first moment they put the headband in. So yeah, it's messy. you have to be clever and understanding that what is going on around. So you cannot just make one decision based on just only brainwaves.
Thank you.
There is a hand there.
Hi, thank you so much. When do you suggest to start using this brainwave stuff in the design process? Very early, or when you have something already done?
Well, during the design process, you have to make different decisions. So if you don't have any visuals, stuff like that, then you actually can only validate maybe this like wording stuff that has content on it. You have to understand that, of course, it might be affected by it's not that beautiful, right? Basically, in design process, you should validate as often as you can from early time and go with this what you come out. But of course, like most emotions, most attraction you get when it's beautiful. It's really well visually designed. It affects a lot. Even adding this small leaf to somewhere really small, insignificant, something not important, a leaf. And then it might affect entire package like acceptance. This tiny thing. So if you add it to black and white wireframe prototype, it might not affect that much. It comes out much later on. So I would say, like, as early as you can see, take it smaller steps, and it leads you better content and also the visuals. But if you only do it on visuals, then your content might get overlooked, underlooked. English is weird. Anyway.